There we go.
We're good. Thank you
Right,
so
Andrew,
much.
that was the only two things that were changed, was the part about the carport with the storage, and
Yeah.
then the having it in Pacific use. Those two things we had voted on and talked about it and passed it that way, it just didn't reflect.
All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I declare that a quorum is present and all notices are legally posted pursuant to the Open Meetings Act. If you now rise for an invocation. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the cool fall air, for the changes of season. We ask for your blessing and for your wisdom tonight. We ask for your guidance and blessing upon all those who serve this city. Bless us, Father. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, first item on the agenda, consideration and approval of minutes from our September 26th meeting. Has people had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes. I want to make a comment on the one about the changing out the yield sign. Not to change the minutes, but to thank the city because those stop signs were up the next day. And they did a very nice thing. They put a red tape on the pole too, make it perfectly obvious that you need to look at it. Yeah, maybe so. But anyway, thank you. It's very good.
If we could just get a stop sign on 8th and Pecan, we'll be in business.
Lance's crews that did that.
Yeah, thank you for us.
I did have a issue on the minutes. When we were talking about the shipping container ordinance, we approved that ordinance with amendments, but the minutes do not record any of the amendments that were made to that ordinance. And I think so we don't really have any record of the amendments as discussed and what amendments were approved, so what actually went to city council.
Okay, so I would recommend you don't adopt the minutes, and that way we can put the amendments in there.
Okay. That's kind of where I was at too, on the very first thing where Ron made the motion and it's seconded as amended. I would like to see the amended changes somewhere in there because it'll say so-and-so spoke in against or for, but it doesn't, give us more detail.
Yeah, I think if we're adopting amendments to something before passing it, the amendments need to be recorded in the minutes at a minimum. So, do we have a motion on that?
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we defer this for corrections
Yeah, second.
Right.
or additions, yeah.
All right, motion's been made to defer this until corrections can be made. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. On to agenda item number 2. Discuss and take possible action regarding the allowance of proposed changes to the city ordinance 155.501. We'll have citizens' comments on this. For standards for residential infill development to allow single-family residences and carports to be built on single 25-foot lots. We're going to open a public hearing on this and then take citizens' comments. We'll have public hearing open at 6:04.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Lamar Jordan. I was here at your last meeting. I really appreciate the consideration of some of the proposed changes to the city's ordinance that will allow construction of houses on 25-foot lots. I think it's only fair that the owners of property be allowed to use their property. We might expect some limitations in an urban or suburban setting, but not complete prohibition from using it, which I think is what we have now with current zoning laws. And I went to the meeting last month. I was glad to hear agreement on the suggestions for 850 square feet with some required outdoor storage and setback lines of 15 feet in front, 5 on the sides and the rear. As you said, these limitations will allow for one-story house that will hold down cost, allow affordable housing, and better blend into existing neighborhoods than a two-story home. It asked me about for or against. That's the things I'm for. There are 2 suggestions that I believe need revisiting. there was a good deal of discussion between the commissioners that did not favor carports in the front. And the solution was only to allow these homes on 25-foot lots where there is an alley. So the carport will be in the back. Well, that's fine when there's an alley. But what about all the 25-foot lots that are not on an approved alley? I read the ordinance just now. I know that all of these have 30-foot right-of-ways for an alley, but no gravel, no pavement, no rear access. So it's suggested that the builder could construct an alleyway for rear access. But if it's a 25-foot lot in the middle of the block, you know, it's just not feasible. For one house, that would just be cost prohibitive. And you could tell by Mr. Kelty's comments that making more alleys for Freeport to maintain was not really a suitable solution for this problem. But, you know, possibly you could not allow outdoor storage under a carport in front. You know, it's for vehicles only. And after all, the required storage area is already part of the proposal. There has to be a more reasonable solution to lots with no viable rear access. The other suggestion, I believe, that needs some modification is a requirement to have a specific use permit, because it will probably kill every permit. I can almost assure you that every neighbor will object. Why? Because there's something wrong with the house? No. No, the house could be gold-plated. They'll find something wrong with it, but what they want is a vacant lot. They will always object. They will bring friends with them. They'll fill up the chambers here. And they will tell you they may have lived there for many years, 30 or 40 was suggested last time, next to a vacant lot. They may have mowed it for years. It may look like part of their yard, and they may have enjoyed it for years. They may feel like it's theirs, but it's not. They haven't paid for it. They don't have a title to it. They don't pay taxes on it. It's not theirs. If they want it, they should buy it. It is a free market, or at least it should be a free market. At a specific use public hearing, neighbors are going to object. The council person for that ward will probably feel the need to back the constituents, and they'll vote to deny the permit. Now, I know sometimes you use specific use permits, but it's normally in commercial property and in instances where a specific or specified business requires it. And if the permit is denied, the property owner is going to have to find some other type of business to use the property. But in this case, if the permit is denied, there is no alternative to permit the use of the property. If the permits are not allowed, then the use of the property is prohibited. It is essentially confiscating the property without compensation. At the end of the last meeting, Eric Hayes said that these proposals are a step in the right direction, and I agree with him. But I'm afraid that the requirement for a specific use permit will likely prevent any step at all. There should be a regular permit process for these lots through the code department and not a specific use permit.
Thank
And
you,
I'll
sir.
take questions.
Still agree with you
I'll
100%.
take questions.
I still agree.
All right. Mr. McKay, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
I just have some questions, just where does it say the special use permit? Where is that?
Go ahead.
Under section 2.
Section 2? Okay.
Did you find out what that meant? Did you find out what that meant, the SU? SUI you were asking about? You find out what it meant?
Come to the mic, please, sir. That's all right.
Scott McKay with Simple Homes. I built a couple of homes on North Avenue C. So just some clarification. So will this, and I'm not sure, well, maybe y'all could help me, will this change the current, I know we're changing this section 155.501. Does that also apply? I don't have the ordinance in front of me with the.
It would not prohibit what you're doing now. If there are 2 or more lots, you can build them just the way you're building.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Say that
Correct.
again for me.
As long as there are 2 or more lots, we're not changing that part of the ordinance.
Okay, so
You can
this
still
is
build them.
completely.
This is only for the orphan 25-foot
This
lots.
is for the
These are for-
standalone only 25-foot lots. We're not changing the one that you've been dealing with recently at all.
Okay, very good. All right, well, y'all, I think, know a little bit of my heart just to build affordable housing just wherever. And I really do appreciate you stepping out and doing what you're doing here. I really don't have anything else to add, just need some clarification. Thank you.
All right, any more comments, or Ms. Roman? We can go ahead and close the public hearing. 6:11, public hearing closed. We'll entertain discussion. Motion?
Well, I myself agree with both gentlemen that spoke today, and that was kind of been one of my pushes from the beginning, that we need to do something that allows for these in a certain zoning. Because right now, if you've got 2 lots, you could break up that. So you could still end up with exactly what you're prohibiting on orphan lots right now. It's already allowed. So by you prohibiting this, you're only prohibiting those people that own that 25-foot lot to not be able to build on their property. And
How are we prohibiting it?
because they have to come get a specific use, and they have to beg for permission to build on their own property and develop it. But if I've got 2 lots, I could still do the exact same thing on it? That doesn't make sense. You're prohibiting someone who has a 25-foot lot to build on that orphan lot, just as Mr. Jordan said, because that neighbor has mowed this property and thinks it's his and he's owned it for this long. We're making them come up here and beg for permission for that. If it's already allowed in another, just like you said, on the 35 feet on the height, where that's the real problem, if you're going to allow that on a 50-foot lot to be broken up into 2 25s and they could build that there, what difference does it make? You're still getting it on both sides, both neighbors, unless you're on a corner lot. You're still going to affect the people the exact same, except for they don't feel like they own that property because it's been vacant and sitting in front of their house. I mean, I tend to agree. The property's been vacant. These lots were on the tax sale. Everybody was notified that lived within a certain radius of that property, and they had the option to buy that property if they wanted it. The problem is they've been using it for the last 10, 20 years, and they think it's theirs. And I don't think we should prohibit the actual owner who owns the property from being able to build on that and have to come up here and beg to be able to do so.
I agree, but I think it's right to make people not miserable, to make them sure that they're notified. And that's the beauty of the SUP, is it makes them sure that everyone gets notified. It also means that, not every developer is Mr. McKay. Some developers are less trustworthy and don't do what they say.
But they've all still got to meet a certain standard, building standard that we have. And Casey ain't gonna let them slide on that. It's gonna be built to specs and follow code and regulations. I mean, it's just, we're still making it hard for people that own these lots. They're gonna have to come up here, and like you said, the people that own are gonna show up with a mob of people. This has happened for the last 10 years that I've been on and off these boards. This has happened.
We had to have a meeting over at River Place because everybody wanted to come up with their torches and pitchforks and,
And I say we send it to council and allow them, let council deal with it. When everybody comes, they've got their chance right now to be published in the paper, and they'll have an option to voice their opinion about it before council passes it.
I think we need to keep the specific use permits, because we sat here and we listened to nothing but a bunch of objections to this whole thing. And what satisfied everybody was what we have here.
I mean, specific use permit is definitely its own road to perdition. It can be anyway, but what it prevents is what it makes it. It's a trade-off, but
Right.
it prevents the scenarios that we need to prevent.
Yeah.
I don't like it either. I think it's definitely an imperfect solution, but I think we should stay with it.
I agree.
Me too.
I mean, I'm hoping that as we get into this couple of 3 years and get understanding what are some of the extremes people might go to that we would object to, that we can codify that and then take out the SUP. And also take exception to using the words beg for permission when somebody's coming down for an SUP. They're not begging. I mean, they submit their request, we hear their request.
And if the neighbors on the adjacent property if their only objection is, well, I think it's mine, I mean, I would say, well, how come you didn't buy it?
Yeah.
That's not a valid reason,
Yeah.
but they at least should be notified. You don't want a grandmother who suddenly people come up and start putting stakes next to her yard and.
Right.
and
Or anybody, yeah.
that's just, we don't want to make people miserable.
But that's where I'm coming from on it, yeah.
Okay, since I missed the last meeting, I'm still trying to catch up on this. we have a builder that wants to build on the 25-foot lots. We know that, right? Okay.
Several.
Pardon?
Maybe
Several.
several buildings,
Several.
yeah.
Right, several lots. And these lots have been empty for years, correct? Yes.
Since the history and divide of Freeport and Velasco.
That's right. As long as I've been around here. And I'm-
Yeah.
Yeah, for years. And what do we always talk about at city council? We need affordable housing, period. We need it. And I'd hate to have another person come to Freeport and say, I tried, but I just couldn't get it done because of city council or because of their regulations. I tried to bring homes here. And I'd hate to hear that, you know?
Many new homes have been built in Freeport in the last 5 years,
Yes, we
or
do.
so in the last 20.
No, I'm saying we do, but I'd hate to hear that somebody that wants to build several homes and, I mean, it's a catch-22. But the thing is that I've seen we all seen the two homes that he built here. Y'all built some in West Columbia too, correct? Yeah. And you actually built them. You built them pretty quick, which is a great deal.
They're great. I like them, but we don't know what designs will come up with, how extreme it could be pushed.
But then that's pushing our beliefs on how their design looks. It's not still doesn't change how the people are gonna feel on either side. And what we're up here on this board is not to decide how somebody's house looks. I mean, it's the best we can do. We came up with an actual ordinance for our zoning for this reason. And we came up with guidelines on how the house, the square footage. I mean, we've done our due diligence and did the best we could do on designing something that would be able to be fit on that lot. We have to leave it up to the creativity of the home builder of what it's gonna look like ultimately when it's finished.
The ordinance that we have.
And what we have here is our due diligence to listen to the citizens who have a big problem with it.
When we redid all the zoning ordinances, this was probably the most controversial a subject of that whole
Yeah.
rezoning ordinance.
Yeah.
And then
It
the allowing it on only reducing it all the way down to where you only needed 2 contiguous lots, and you could build 2 units on 2 lots as long as you had just 2 of them. That was the compromise. And, I mean, I don't see that this is going to be a perfect solution, but I mean, we've moved the goalposts further towards the developer's side. It went from being you had to have a 50-foot lot, you had to combine 2 if you were going to build on the Velasco side, to saying, well, now you have to only have 3, and then now 2 contiguous lots, and now we're saying, well, you can do it on 1, but we want to see it first, and I think that's reasonable.
I do
But our
too.
ultimately goal is to increase the population of Freeport. And the only way to do that is to make it easier.
I
on them.
disagree, that's the only way to
I
do
don't
it.
think that's the only way
No,
either.
no.
We're not building no more land. I mean, all we've got is what we've got. And these orphan lots have been sitting here over 60 years, just sitting, empty. They've had to be mowed, put liens on them. The only reason most of these properties sold is because they sold at tax sales. These have been sitting on a struck-off list for years. The city has had to maintain them, mow them. We've had to take care of them. We finally got some interest once we started talking about going to a smaller square footprint and allowing it. Did builders start buying these properties and take them off of the resale list? I mean, these things that went to auction, everyone was notified, they went to auction, then they got stuck on a struck-off list, is where they had sat the past 40 years, sitting on a struck-off list, where the city has had to mow and maintain them, or the neighbors have had to do so. And they're gonna continue to be that way because under a Pacific use permit, they're gonna come in and they are gonna get beat up when they ask for that.
I don't
Every
think so.
neighbor is gonna complain. They're not gonna want it next door to them.
I don't think so. I think it's a way to sell it.
Well, and if the neighbor complains and their only objection is not in my backyard, I hadn't got a problem looking them right in the eye and saying, that's too bad. I mean, I've had
Yeah.
things happen that I didn't want in my backyard, but I didn't own what was getting done, so I had to live with it, and that's fine. I'm comfortable with it.
And you don't feel like the guidelines that we set and the rules that we already set are gonna take care of that? Everything that we put into place already, other than that last thumb? I mean, we've already got every other regulation and zoning already in place. You don't think that would satisfy it?
My concern is these lots being small are going to attract some smaller developers that may or may not have the city's best interest at heart and may or may not have the neighborhood's best interest at heart. And if we put something out there that they can check the boxes and say, yeah, I did this, I did this, I did this, then we're going to get people to come in and do things that we didn't put a box in for and we wished we'd had.
Yeah.
And then we're looking at trying to claw back. You can't do that. I mean, if somebody's out there built something with a permit, then that's done.
Correct.
And that's all I want to be able to do, at least for the first, I don't know, some period of time, hopefully not too long, is get to know some of the builders and what they're going to do and let the best ones come out and show other people how to get it done.
I think the best developers win. I mean,
Yeah.
it rises to the top.
I hate to
They-
say it,
They have to
guys.
just, they have to kind of prove themselves first.
I highly disagree with that logic. I think
Okay.
whoever owns the property, whoever builder they get, they have certain standards that they must meet, and that's what the code enforcement and department is for. They look over the plans, and they're not going to approve something that doesn't fit and it doesn't match or meet our requirements. They're going to make them stand by that.
The special use permit may just become a rubber stamp process. And I would hope, if it does, then I think we'd be changing this again to say, okay, we don't really need to do that. But I
Yeah.
think Mr. McKay has set a great example of, how to use these lots in a very effective way. And I hope those two places sell pretty quick, and he's got an opportunity to do some more. Because if he could do that kind of development on a single 25-foot lot, then, that's kind of a slam dunk, I think.
Could y'all give me a scenario? I'm really good at a visual
Yeah.
of how this would work. Okay, could y'all just tell me how this would work?
You would apply for a permit on a Pacific 25-foot lot you would buy. You would go under Pacific use. You would have to come back before the board with all your plans and get blessings prior to building.
So this board or city council?
This board.
It would be this board.
So it doesn't go before city council?
No, that's the part that we're adopting, is we're saying as long as it's done under Pacific use, it's allowed. So it wouldn't have to go back to council for each process. It would only come to us,
Yes.
or whoever's on this board after us.
Yeah, this proposed ordinance change goes to city council to be finalized,
Yeah.
and then hopefully they are out of the loop,
Right.
unless they do something.
I mean, it streamlines the process a little bit, but it still does take quite a bit if you're trying to close on a property and adds to the time and everything.
Yeah,
So
but
I-
the sale would be contingent on, getting your SUP approved.
Yeah.
Okay, no
All
more
right.
further discussion.
Any further discussion?
I have some questions on the ordinance itself.
Okay. I guess.
Some point. This is on the one that you gave us.
Yes, sir. The
Yeah,
changes.
the new one. The first sentence, whereas the city of Freeport, the city is undergoing an increased level of development and redevelopment of individual parcels of property, we need to strike within the downtown district.
Yeah, because this is probably most likely going to affect a Ward
Yeah.
Ward C.
Okay.
going to be within the city.
Well, just drop it, put a period after the property.
That's fine, too.
Within
And
the
then-
corporate city limits.
Yeah.
Yeah, some,
Applies there anyway.
and then
Yep, yep.
the second line from the bottom, where it says, the regulation established by this source are necessary for good government, peace, and order in the city. That reads like it's a traffic deal or some type of a police issue, just for good government, necessary for good government. I'll just leave it at that.
Which one was that?
I think that's
Where-
kind of boilerplate to me.
Yeah, it's just
And you can leave it if you
boilerplate.
think it's just
Or
boilerplate.
it's an artistic,
Huh?
Yeah.
it's
It's an artistic.
the artistic choice of the
Okay,
statute.
we'll leave it. And then on page 2, the very bottom,
All right.
number 4, it says, any new residential dwelling in the SUI district. Nobody knows what that is, so we're just going to strike that.
SUI.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, too.
Yeah, I was.
There is no such district.
I was too.
I
Okay.
think the attorneys,
Just strike that. Any new residential dwelling shall include.
So in SUI district, yeah, what is SUI
What
district?
what does this stand for?
We don't
I
know.
think the attorney did a typo. He went back and forth several times
I mean, I haven't
today.
tried to Google it.
That's not in the first draft of this ordinance, it's just in the second draft. It
So
says
what words are we scratching out of there?
in the SUI district.
Because this won't
Very
be in
good.
for any specific district.
Okay, so the proposed amendments is to strike on the second line of page 1, downtown district,
Yeah,
We're gonna
And,
put corporate city limits there?
and on page 2, strike in the SUI district.
Yeah.
On second line from the bottom.
yes.
Were you gonna add within the corporate city limits, or just strike it and leave it off totally?
I don't think it needs.
No, you don't need that, I don't
That's
think.
implicit.
Just individual parcels of property within the city.
Okay,
You want to do that?
within the city, gotcha.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, is there anything,
What about the comments about the garage or carport locations or alleys?
I understand, and we want to make affordable housing, and one thing that saves money is by allowing a carport versus requiring a garage. There's some really nice designs that have a, single-car garage on the bottom floor and then up from there. But would you want to have a carport in the front?
Yeah, I think that's going to provoke the neighbors more
Yeah,
than just
that will,
having another
that
house
sure will.
there.
No, I think we need to leave that in the rear, but if they wanted to do a garage with a house over it, I think that would be acceptable.
Garage with a house over it would be fine. I think
But
those are
not a
some great
carport, then
designs.
you have to make a garage and not have a carport. The carport's gonna bug a lot of people.
There are some older homes that have carports in front in Freeport.
They mostly got 50-foot wide lots too. not-
50-foot wide lots, that's true. The outdoor lockable storage? Anybody?
Where'd that
It
end up?
doesn't say lockable, but it,
Oh, well,
Just outdoor storage.
outdoor storage.
yeah, the storage.
Yeah, that was important, because we're hoping they'll at least get a lawnmower and maintain their lawn.
Yeah.
We're sure they will. Because this is supposed to be
Well, with
affordable
that
housing, I don't think they're going
15-foot
to be
front
hiring.
setback, you're going to spend a lot of time mowing that yard.
Yeah. I just don't want the lawnmower parked on a front porch.
Yeah. If I have a nice lawnmower, I don't want to put it under the carport where it will probably disappear.
Or rust away.
Oh, even wood rusts in Freeport.
Oh, yeah. I'll throw away stainless steel screws after a few years.
Infill means.
Yeah.
Houses on both sides, they shield.
Well, this is a step towards the developer's favor compared to what we've had before in our ordinances. It is not everything that everybody wants, and it's definitely imperfect. But I think it's a good compromise, and it's the result of listening to both sides and some diligence.
And I don't think it's going to be out there for 20 years, even 10 probably. We'll end up making some changes.
Let's see
To
what
encourage.
gets built. Let's see
Yeah.
what's get built. I mean, I think we want to see it first. I think having that demonstration
Yeah.
is good.
Good point.
All right. Anyone want to make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve it with the changes we noted.
All right, motion to approve as amended. Do I have a second?
I'll second it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ron.
Right, I'll second it.
All right, seconded by Ron. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Passes unanimous. Thank you. All right.
Cool.
Item number 3. Discuss and take action regarding a request for a plat of Lot 1A, Block 36 of the Velasco Town Site, being in addition to the City of Freeport, a replat of lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Block 36, according to the map of record in volume 32, page 14 of the deed of records of Brazoria County, Texas.
All right, this property is located at South Avenue F and Archer Street. It's inside of our Freeport city limits. The owner's just replatting this into a lot. Now, sorry, getting one of them straight. So this is going to be to build a new home, and the owner on record is Jarrett Williams of Freeport, Texas.
To build a new home? Which
Yes.
picture? We're looking at the old commercial building.
I know, that's what I was looking at. The other ones are for
Can you pull that up on the
commercial.
map?
The other ones are on commercial buildings, 4 and 5. We look at, you want me to pull it up on Google Maps for you?
If you could, yes, please. 'Cause I'm gonna be honest, I've been in tax protest all day, and I did not quite make it by to look at all these.
I looked at them on Google Maps.
Not very much. 7.5 hours I was there. They're tough.
It's probably all the F-bombs you dropped.
No, I did not. I don't do that. I only do that when I'm joking with my friends.
You're a good man.
Back, sorry. So this is back behind, like Texas Rivers Distillery. Now, where is, excuse me,
Where's Archer
I'm
Street?
looking for
Yeah,
Archer.
behind the hotel and the apartments.
Oh, other direction, sorry. South Avenue F. Where's Archer?
Hey, you're in North Avenue F.
Oh, that might help.
You're going north.
Oh, I messed up.
Yeah, go the other way.
Other way. Sorry. Here we go, South Avenue F. But where is Archer? Archer,
Archer's
here
right
we
there.
go, here we
Okay,
go.
there it is.
Okay, so Britt Bailey, South Avenue F. Now, hold on. Tell you what, let me do some.
Google Maps magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What did we do before Google Maps?
Pull up the zoning map real quick.
Drew things out by hand.
Ooh,
Freeport, Illinois.
wrong state.
Follow the Triangle Road,
Here we go.
7.2 miles. Turn and stick with the flag on top.
Do you have the folder? They did say residential, didn't they? Here we go. Zoom in. This one was the only.
Yeah, this is the C2 zone.
So, here's Archer. Let's zoom in. Is it here or is it here? Let's double check. We're doing, yes. This is Mr. Williams. Make sure it's zoned right. Yeah, and Archer?
Yeah, it looks like the southeast corner, maybe Archer, South Avenue, yeah.
Yeah, that is,
That's what I was trying to figure out, because I didn't get to go by there, but
So
one
if
of
you
them
look at
roads
the
back
cream-
there is kind of
I'm coming over here
undeveloped
to
road,
clarify
right
with
there.
you.
Remember where the old yellow Camaro used to sit covered for about 11 years?
I missed that.
There's a house there on the corner, they kind of demoed them out, but part of that road doesn't have a road there. And I couldn't tell on this map, I was trying to figure out, did the roads go all the way across?
now this, the
Wasn't quite
cream
big enough
color
to
is
tell.
R2, so he would be allowed to build residential here.
So he's just combining 2 of the 25-foot Velasco lots?
He's combining 6 of them.
Actually, it's 6 lots.
Or 6 lots, yeah. And he's gonna do just one big home?
Yes.
Yep.
He's hired Mr. Garcia to build the home for him.
That'd be a nice house.
Oh, really? Willie's gonna
I
build
just
it, huh?
wanted to double check like y'all.
Cool,
Yes,
thank you.
see, this entire area right here is, the cream colors all R2. And just while we're here, so one of the next ones is gonna be down here for commercial on South Gulf.
Yep.
I have Mr. Garcia on the phone. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He's calling in because he's watching online. What would you like me to tell him?
I'll build her. Mr. Garcia, Willie Garcia,
Yeah.
that owns Rumors.
Okay. It's right by the railroad tracks, by the barbecue place,
Sister
in
White's?
this area. And it is for one residential home? One residential home.
No, he's gonna build it.
Yes, Mr. Garcia is going to be the builder on. Do you have any questions for him while I got him on?
It has a finished road that's up in front,
Yes, it
correct?
does have a finished access road. There's not gonna be any problem there.
Yeah, I just knew one of them in that area.
Oh,
Wasn't
I
real
was
sure
looking
about.
at the wrong place.
Yeah, you were telling me totally wrong.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong, dark on it. I need an address. I can't,
That's why I was confused when I was looking at it. I was trying to tell you, where is that? What used to be there?
yeah, okay. But that's across from the Sister White's, that
Problem at all.
Right.
parcel? Oh,
Right.
yeah, but no, okay,
And they demoed the one that was there years ago.
yeah.
I
All right.
noticed it was that builder calling, so
That's Willie Garcia.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Well, I will consider that part of the public hearing then.
There you go.
That phone call?
Yes, we will,
Yeah, there you go.
we will
We'll
make that.
put that in the
sure.
record.
Yes.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and close the public hearing then at 6:37, and I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, motion to approve by Eric, seconded by Pam. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Passes. Number 4. All right, this is a request for a replat of lots 1 through 8 and lots 17 through 20, Block 739 to be renamed Block 1A, Block 739. This is going to be a .5797 acres and lots 17A, Block 739, .0721 acres, subject lots being of the Velasco Town Site as recorded in Volume 32, page 14 of the Brazoria County Deed of Records in the St. Anger Survey, Abstract 8, City of Freeport, Brazoria County, Texas.
Okay, this is kind of an exciting piece of property. That's why I pulled up Google Maps here for you. So you may recognize this old shopping center on Brazosport Boulevard. It's at 1411 right now. They're going to be demolishing that building. So I'll come over here. So this will go away. That will be the access in, and there's going to be a large shopping center built back here with a small grocery store and some rentable spaces. So they're asking for a replat to be able to do that development.
So they're separating out the triangular piece, the other side of the alley?
Yes, so, and that's really the intent. Taqueria Los Gallos is going to stay here, but this is going to become part of the drive that you can access the large. So the shopping center will face the exact same direction that the old white building will. It'll be a large square facing Brazosport Boulevard.
Are we gonna close the alley right away?
We discussed that, but they're going to design around it. They're going to allow the alleyway.
Give them a
because
lot
of the
more room
additional-
without that alleyway.
Do we
It's
have a
30
lot of, where
foot.
you have a lot that actually jumps the alley?
Nope.
So there's two lots there. There's the one the white building is on, and then there is an alleyway that goes right through here.
30 foot.
And then all this property back here is owned by the same owner.
I see.
But the utilities go through the alley, right?
No, not there.
No, they don't?
I'd have to look at a water or sewer map to make sure.
Just thinking of the way they're doing that, that would, grocery store chain be nice there, and to utilize that extra 30 foot for parking lot would be awesome. Not
Yeah.
have that grass through that old ditch there anymore.
The last
would be really nice
rendering I
there.
saw was about an 8,000 square foot facility.
Yeah.
8,000 square foot?
Well, I want to,
If what they do is just build a driveway across the alley,
That's all
that
it is.
won't
It's going
cause
to
a
be
problem
just a
for
parking
utility
and
access,
drive.
would it?
Not at all.
Okay.
is there already a contract to demo what's there, that little
Yes,
strip center?
they've got some excellent engineers who've been We've already had several meetings. They've got everything rolling. In fact, I highly anticipate as soon as y'all approve this, they're going to submit all their plans.
I was gonna ask, is there a way we can submit this contingent to the building being demoed first? Because I really would hate to rezone the property and then it not get demoed.
Well, they actually
So-
already pulled the demo permit for that. It's just the rest, I think they were going to come in and do all the site work at the same time, but
Right, I
they did
was just
already pull that
Trying to
permit.
make the approval that that's part of the requirement first, before it actually would be rezoned, that would, they get their
They-
rezoning, it just has to actually be completed before it would be zoned or.
Well, actually,
be
this is zoned
plotted that way.
appropriately. They don't have to have a rezone that's zoned
Yeah,
for that area.
replat.
Or-
Yeah, it's just a replat, not a
Right.
rezone.
And I don't think they would, leave that building there. That'd be detrimental to their
Oh, yeah, yeah.
development.
Right.
That would be an eyesore. They wouldn't leave it
Yeah,
there.
they deliberately bought that so that they can
Yeah.
knock
Tear
it
it down.
down and have a nice frontage on the Brasport
Yeah.
Boulevard
No,
side.
that'd be real nice.
And what did you say he was gonna put there?
Grocery
It's going to
store
be a
chain?
small grocery store with a couple of rentable spaces on the side, like a little strip center.
Huh.
It'll complement that area very nicely.
Yeah, sure will.
Yeah. All right. Well, any more discussion?
Nope.
All right, we can close the hearing and entertain a motion.
I'll make a
Motion to approve it?
second.
All right, motion approved by Ron, seconded by Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. All right. Last item, number 5. This is a request for replat of lots 1, 2, and 3, Block 16, to be renamed Lot 1A, Block 16, subject lots being of the Velasco Town Site as recorded in Volume 32, page 14 of the Brazoria County Deed of Records in the Eli Mitchell Survey Abstract, 99, City of Freeport, Brazoria County, Texas. Go ahead and open this one.
Okay. Kind of give you,
Over by Twisters,
let's see, there we are, Caldwell.
Alaska Boulevard.
Okay, so the property in question is actually right behind what's now known as Casa Azul. It's these 3 lots here. It is a commercial zone now. So even though there's some existing homes in this area, that is all zoned commercial. So he is requesting a replat. Doesn't really have a set plan of what to build yet. I think originally he wanted to build a house, and then when he realized it was commercial, he's going ahead and requesting the replat to look at marketing for something commercial. You can't really build anything until the replat's approved.
Is this the same owners as Casa Azul?
No, this is a different owner. Okay, so that would be right here.
George Lopez.
Right, he's just combining these 3 lots.
Yeah. Gonna combine those 3. Boy, that 25-foot lot issue just comes up everywhere, don't it?
As you can see, that purple color is all C2 zone.
Yeah.
So it's right in there.
At least they're getting bigger and not smaller,
Yeah.
right?
If he's combining all 3 lots, right, in the one,
Correct.
okay. It's something big.
75-foot, 325-foot lots.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, if there's no discussion,
Nope.
no comments to be made, we can go ahead and close public hearing and entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Eric.
I'll second it.
All right, seconded by Pam. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. All right, pass unanimous. All right, now can you get a motion to adjourn?
I would like to make one comment before we adjourn, if I may.
Yes, yes.
Casey, when we do the ordinances and we approve them, could we see the rough draft, or the final draft before it goes to council for approval? Because me and Andrew were kind of going over a few
I'm
things.
glad
and
you mentioned that. I think that would be
Yeah.
a better, best practices.
Okay,
That way, if anything's missed, we can catch it before it, goes to council.
okay, yeah, because we
Good
normally,
idea. That's good.
I send the changes to the attorney, he emails them back to me, and then if there's a major change, we always bring it back to y'all before. But then, yeah, we can do
Right.
that because I don't have to submit it to council till Wednesday before. Yeah,
I think it would be easier, especially on like some of the amendments we accept, and we accept them that way with changes, that it doesn't come back and then it kind of gets lost in translation. That way we could all take a look at it before and make sure everything's accurate before we actually push it to council.
And we can definitely do that, just remember, so I'll email it to all of you, but don't reply to all, because that would be a violation of the Open Meetings Act.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you have a comment, just reply to me. You know,
Gotcha.
I caught, like y'all, several of you did to help me this week, I caught a correction, this needs to be fixed. Just reply to one, don't reply to all.
Yeah.
Have you tried emailing it to yourself and blind copying a bunch of people? It cuts down on reply to all.
That's true, yeah, I can do that.
Thank you, and I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, motion is to adjourn has been made.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ron, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
It's always been fun.
They're always fun.
It is.
We didn't have